Good morning, everybody. Samkelo asked me, so Lelane, what are you talking about? Because he's got a very exciting topic. And I had to, with much enthusiasm, said to him, regulation. But regulation really do excite me. So let's talk about what we see. So the Financial Sector Conduct Authority has issued quite a few warnings, but also a few enforcement actions that we've seen in this past week. And I must say, I'm quite surprised that they issued quite a lot this past week. So I cannot cover all of them because my time is limited. But let's have a look at what we see. So the Financial Conduct Authority has debarred Mr. Palime for 15 years and fined his company MZP Markets for 1 million rands. This follows findings that his business was offering financial services without proper authorization, which is normally the case, specifically trading contracts for differences, in other words, your CFDs on behalf of clients. Now, I had an in-person meeting with Advocate John Simpson, the FAIS Ombudsman, and he's also mentioned that his office is receiving quite a few complaints on the CFDs. Now, his office can't really do anything about these complaints other than referring it to the Financial Sector Conduct Authority's Enforcement Division to investigate these complaints. Now, several complaints were received from investors who were unable to, of course, withdraw their funds, raising serious concerns about consumer protection. The FSCA is reminding the public that engaging with unlicensed providers significantly increases the risk and for financial loss. So then another one that you would have seen, the FSCA, and I like the social media strategy, they're posting it more and more on social media. So the one that I also just seen on LinkedIn is in a strong regulatory move. The Conduct Authority has taken action against the South African Army Foundation. Now, who would have thought that there would be a fining against an army foundation? Aren't they supposed to do no harm and only do good? That's my question. But the FSCA has withdrawn the SAAF's license to operate as a financial services provider, and they've imposed a massive financial penalty on 2 individuals that were involved, totaling more than 44 million combined. Now, both individuals have also been debarred for 30 years, that's 3 decades, from financial services industry, and the investigation uncovered serious misconduct, including misuse and commingling of clients' funds. In other words, they were mixing it, misleading regulatory reporting, so there's a little bit of fraudulent reporting coming in there, and unauthorized payments made to themselves. While the FSCA confirmed that insurance premiums were still paid, the cases highlighted serious governance and ethical failures within that organization. Then turning to a developing case involving curatorship. Now, this is quite an interesting one, and I wish I had more time to dive into the details, but the FSCA has raised concerns that Johannes Lodewicus du Plessis is interfering with a curator process linked to his own business, JLD Investments. A curator was appointed earlier this year to protect and recover investors' funds, but du Plessis has allegedly continued to contact the clients directly, which is a violation of the agreed terms. The regulator has urged affected investors to deal only with the appointed curator and has confirmed that the investigation is still ongoing. And then finally, a warning to public around rising investment scams. The FSCA has issued an alert about fraudsters impersonating well-known investment firms, including Satrix, through a Telegram group. It's always Telegram. So that Telegram group's name is Satrix SA. The real companies have confirmed, of course, that they have no association with this group, and the FSCA has been unable to obviously trace these perpetrators. Investors are urged again to be cautious of unrealistic returns, urgent investment requests, upfront payments demands, and offers made especially via social media. The regulator warns that millions of rands are lost annually due to such scams, which are becoming increasingly sophisticated. Then quickly from the FPI side, you would have seen that we've issued Q2 newsletter from the FPI. We used to issue our newsletters monthly, but we know your mailboxes are crazy with everybody's monthly newsletters, so we thought to rather give you a nice summary at the end of each quarter. So you would see Q2 newsletter came out. Thank you to Sam and his team and all the HEDs and everybody that contributed to FPI's newsletter. You will see that I also talk in that newsletter about the Financial Planning Standards Board, who FPI hosted in Cape Town. And thank you to our sponsors for that event. which is Peter Hewitt and his team at Advice Tech, also Asset Math. Thank you, Benny Goos, and then Jen McKay from Hadida, powered by Link Tank. So thank you so much. Then very quickly, Retirement Investment Masterclass takes place on the 13th of May. If you haven't registered, please do. And a reminder that convention will be in Cape Town, 7 and 8 October. The in-person spaces are really flying fast, and that normally happens when we are in Cape Town. So please book your seat to avoid any disappointment that you may have. And that is a wrap. Blessings. Goodbye.